to the Sad Dads Club podcast. Here's everybody's favorite sad dads, Jim and Foo.
Yeah.
The team calls and side chats as people start to like, I don't understand how timesheets work.
Because they've never had to do it.
And then like 15 minutes later, someone comes in who wasn't paying attention. Someone jumps in or hasn't been paying attention, and they ask the same fucking, like, where would I log a meeting about, like, what we're doing right here? And so I get a DM on the side. It's like, hey, man,
come on,
shoot me. And I went, I can't right now, man. I'm busy trying to put this fork in the outlet. And then we like laugh. Shit, you know, it's like a cadence. Like then 10 minutes later, okay, but if I'm on a meeting, where do I log that as a meeting? And it's like, he's like, seriously, come over here, find the bullets, put it in the gun, and shoot me. I'm like, I'm busy right now trying to bite this conduit of the 220 line in my breaker box. I'm totally fucking busy.
How do I tongue kiss this fucking breaker box?
I'm trying. By the end of the call, I'm sending him shit like, hey man, why does everything smell like burnt coconut? I don't think I'm seeing straight, man. It is brutal.
Oh God.
Hey man, are we talking? Are we going to be talking about how to do the timesheets? It's like, oh fuck, dude. They're gonna let me go before some of these paste eaters.
They need to have a meeting about timesheets, like strictly just a timesheet meeting.
We've had 3 of those.
Oh God!
Did
they start out as timesheet meetings?
And they've had them because we have staggered schedules, and it's just like,
oh yeah,
you guys had this meeting before we did.
So they need to record one of those meetings and put it up somewhere where people
put it in
here's how you do the timesheets. Watch this.
A Confluence SharePoint link and be like, these are the meeting notes.
Yeah.
Hey, and we'll get the next day. It'll be like, does someone have the Confluence link for the notes on how to do the fucking thing?
Oh, there's a Confluence link?
There's a Confluence link? You know what would be next day? You know what would be handy if we had a Confluence link of all the meeting notes?
It'd be nice if someone saved this somewhere we could watch it.
Yeah. You guys put it on like a MySpace or something. And everyone is so fucking old that it's like, you know what? If someone needs help doing timesheets, I have this program.
Oh God.
Fucking, it's a daily vlog.
I've written a script.
Anyway, I'm going back on mute. And you're like, fucking holy shit.
Wow. We had a similar thing because I think I told you we had switched over from paper. Well, we went from paper to PDF timesheets of the same exact thing. That was the paper. Then we had a PDF of the paper. So everybody got PDFs instead of printed copies. And then you could just send the PDF in. And now we went to the full digital realm where it's like the people that do our paychecks has the timesheet and you log in there and fill it out, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then that turned into, well, you can do, because as an engineering group, typically you log your time for the day based on whatever you worked on the most. Mm-hmm. So if you work 6 hours on something and 2 hours on something else, well, you would just put in the code for whatever project you were working on for 6 hours.
Right.
But now they're saying, well, you can actually break it up for the day. You can say 6 hours on this and 2 hours on that. And then it was like, well, how do I do that? It's pretty I'm a QA engineer. I'm not even like a code writer, but I'm like, that's pretty self-explanatory. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that just boggled my mind that people were like, how do I do that? And I'm like, come on.
Our latest thing is, so I'm sure it's possible, but I don't really fuck around with Windows. But as a Unix person, if I have multiple issues of tickets of the same issue, as a command line guy, I can open up multiple windows on multiple servers and perform the same set of remediations, whether it's via script or a copy paste of a command line set of commands,
Sure.
and solve a problem on
multiple units.
multiple
Yeah.
things at the same time. And what often comes up when we're talking about, hey, welcome to Sad Dad's Club Podcast, episode 3, something. I'm the Lord Foo.
I'm Jim.
I'm the corporate juggernaut complainer. With the advent of timesheets, it is, well, how do I log something? How do I log a multitask? Like, you want each ticket that I'm working, but in a span of 15 minutes, I didn't work 15 minutes on each individual ticket, but yet I solved 3.
But you did spend 15 minutes on each individual ticket.
Right. And so the new manager is like, it's impossible to multitask. Like, you can't actually be doing.
So then just stop multitasking.
Right. And it got
Be less efficient.
It got into this spiral of like,
no,
you're not listening. Like, if I have a problem for, let's just say, hard drive space. I have hard drive space, 95% capacity on 3 boxes. I have 3 tickets, 1 for each box.
They're all the same problem.
It's all the same problem. In this scenario, the solution is same on all 3 boxes. At 10 minutes apiece to acquire the access privileges to execute on each box, that whole submission is going to take, soup to nuts, solving the problem is 10 minutes. On 3 boxes, it's going to take me 10 minutes in total to solve the problem.
Yeah, 10 minutes plus.
And I will be able to do that.
10 seconds it takes to copy and paste for each window.
At best.
Yeah.
At best. And I have spent 10 minutes solving
3 tickets.
3 tickets.
Yeah.
But for the purpose of trying to account for my time, I have multitasked 3 things that would, in consecutiveness,
45 minutes.
Cost 30 to 45 minutes.
Yeah.
In parallel or multitasking, it took me 10. It took me 10.
So for those 10 minutes, you just put in each of the ticket. Each ticket is also in the same 10 minutes.
That's what the we were trying to explain, that was possible, and the manager was like, "No, it's 10 minutes per ticket." And we went,
but they're all happening at the same time.
It's happening at the same time. He went, "It's not possible. It's not physically possible for you to be working on 3 different tickets at the same time. At some point, you have to go to a different window and work on it." And it was like this completely unobtainium,
some manager.
Yeah. And we went, okay, we can do it. I can log it that way. But you understand, at the end of the day, if I have 600 minutes of a work day, I'm going to be logging 1,200 minutes because you want me to catalog each instance.
Yeah, you want me to
when someone
stack them.
Yeah, when someone puts in the Excel algorithm to say pull time and time worked in a day and the shift time,
you're going to be paying me a lot of OT.
Right. Every person on this team who actually does work, hashtag bottom feeders,
Sure.
Some of us are going to be triple booked in time. It will be impossible to have worked 1,200 minutes in a 600-minute day.
Yeah.
And the manager could not grasp that,
that was even
some
possible.
people, from a perspective of showing your efficiency as a person having to log their time, it's going to be great. Up until the point where it looks like such an outlier that, is this person just padding their stats? And then you're concerned at the other end of the spectrum, like, well, I don't want it to look too bloated, but this is, I saw it.
I did too.
I don't want it to look too bloated, but at the same time, these are the instructions I'm being told to follow because this person says multitasking is physically impossible. So, okay.
So what you do is you just take 10 minutes and divide it by 3, and whatever that time is, 3 minutes and 33 seconds or whatever it is, 3 minutes and 15 seconds or whatever whatever that is, and then that's how long it takes to do each ticket.
I'd go the other way.
There you go.
I'm right. Yeah, I'm not interested in trying to make it match.
Yeah.
I'm following instructions, and if someone gives me a boot to the door because, Jason, it's impossible for you to bill 1,500 minutes in a 800-minute day, I'd be like, listen, all of those tasks are legit. I was in each of those tasks, and my manager says that it's impossible for me to double dip, so you get the concurrent time, not the parallel time. Also, severance package is amazing. Thank you. Goodbye and fuck yourself.
I'm open to it.
Yeah.
I just want to say that.
Hey. Anyway, there you go. Did you recall your...
No.
So, in the vein of the fucking punch,
yes.
like the last couple sets of meetings,
yeah,
it has been the...
You want to cut yourself.
Who wants... I'm just going to hit myself in the nuts. And hopefully...
It'll feel better.
It can't be any worse.
No. It'll feel better than what I'm dealing with.
And maybe I'll just pass out from the concussive force of my own fist to my nuts.
Yeah.
And the meeting will be over when I wake up.
Yeah. Those were... we're talking about these gifts of... A couple of gifts where dudes are punching themselves in the nuts, which I just thought were hilarious. And that came up because... A friend of mine said that their dog had passed away.
Oh, no.
So we were talking about it, and he was like, I've got a meeting at 5, so that'll take my mind off of it.
Yeah.
And then I sent a gif of me punching myself in the nuts. That will take my mind off of it, right?
This will work too.
Yeah, but he was like, wait, what? You know, he didn't seem to get
I mean, you
it
could have sent him the slow jerk one, where you're just looking at it.
Right.
Sure, this won't do it either? I mean,
yeah,
we could go either way.
Yeah. So I just thought it was funny because the one dude with the fucking birthday hat, what the hell? Just looks at his fist and then just goes it down.
Hard eye.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah.
I had a conversation with a gentleman yesterday. And he was he's a lot closer to retirement. He's like in his low 60s. He served in the Navy, I believe. He's a
seaman.
Yeah. He's a single gentleman. And he was like, as I start to eye some of these things here as I get closer to like retirement and considering whether or not it's my time, he's like, it's just me. It's just my dog and the job. And he's like, and the job is starting to be so taxing and anxiety ridden that it's starting to be a thing. And I said, it's funny you mentioned the dog because I said, I would be not one to tell you I've ever underestimated the power and the force of a pet companion. Except for the amount of times that, scratches or a hug to the dog or the distraction that a dog provided in the house in a moment where I may have been, why is it? It's flat out strobing. That's funny. It's not that I never realized it was happening, but its value was like, oh, fucking, yeah, it's important. Like, pets are amazing. I said, the last year, I have 100% underestimated how much stress and anxiety having a dog unburdened from me.
Sure.
And
it's not even like they have to take it from you.
Right.
They just...
Right. And this isn't something like, well, because I intentionally went out to de-stress upon the dog in some form or fashion. which is weird to say because, like I said, I loved the dogs. The dogs were super important to me, and it wasn't But what the last year has taught me is that there was an unknowable benefit of their presence that I hadn't ever really given consideration to. It's not blinking up here, so it's got to be local.
I feel like it's the LCD.
It's probably. Well, I mean, maybe. But that's okay. I'm good with that. Oh, Jesus, you went and slapped shit.
That's how you fix half the tech issues.
And I said, so that... we're always, I guess the long way around the conversation was, even as someone that put a huge amount of benefit and consideration into loving a pet, I was absent-mindedly missing or not realizing the amount of
care,
stuff
that
they
dog
were
provided to you.
Yeah. And sleep
Yeah.
is like one of those things that's like.
Have you still not adjusted to that?
I'm trying to figure it out with pillows.
You just got to have your wife lay on you or something.
Fuck, and that's been like, everything is so hot. And the set of pillows that I've tried to rotate into to make sure that I'm like actually sleeping
supported
well.
properly.
Right. It tends to like they're like a little bit firmer, so it keeps her away. And so I find myself like
it's like garlic.
Right, like a fucking vampire.
Stay
type of
away.
Thing. Yeah, just get the fuck away.
My spousal garlic is my pillow.
Yeah. I find myself like reaching for her just to like touch.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, that was a boob.
Yeah. Sorry, my hands were outside and now they're inside, and it's the cold taser.
Yeah.
Whereas a dog on the outside of the covers, it was just like something you could like. Man, it's still. But that's 20 plus years of that behavior.
Yeah.
That I wouldn't expect that to be get accustomed to in just one, but it is still something that I'm having to work through. The 2 times that we've watched Margot, Dave and Nat's dog, has been good sleep. Would I go get a dog just for good sleep? I can't do that either. I cannot do that.
No, you're not there yet? I
have resigned that at some point.
I feel like you're going to get there.
I will. Yeah. I have in the last year. Yeah. There has been, I'm good. I'm in a good place.
Yeah.
But I'm a dog. I am a dog person. I will get another dog.
Yeah, I can tell from the licking.
Right. It's like someone has to dry this shit after the shower. Like when I get out, that's really what I'm missing. It's not the stress relief.
No, the way you sniff butts is what I'm saying.
I need you.
You're a dog person.
Yeah, well,
I'm like, bro.
You're so fruity.
It's a little.
It's aggressive.
It's a little personal.
What else would I use the nose for?
Yeah.
Just.
Is it different now that I have a bidet?
Right. It's so clean. And I need to feel it, too. Just get in there and just...
Trust me, I know.
I have walked it back. Like, and I've told that to Venus.
Less butt sniffing.
Yeah, someone has to do this besides me. And we could just get a dog and figure it out. But we've both realized that there's a... we want to do stuff.
Yeah.
And the way that we...
stuff.
Yeah. The way that we pet is not conducive to the, it's been nice to just lube up and go at it. Hashtag sorry, kids. So it'll happen, but I need a gap, and for a bit. Hey, yo.
To sniff.
I need a gap to sniff. Just like credit card that shit. Just slide it up.
Sorry.
God damn.
I'm just in a mood today.
Holy shit. I'm just going to bend over here and grab the tools and you just chuck it. It'll happen. It'll happen.
Yeah. I have no doubt that it's going to happen.
I think a cat will probably happen before a dog.
Meow.
Right.
I didn't picture you guys as cat people.
I think that's probably the gateway to getting back.
It's the dog gateway drug.
Right. It'll
cat.
be having something that offers some of those conveniences, but the allowances to leave.
Cats are a little bit more independent.
Right.
And,
right.
We can leave Sparkle for a full day or maybe a day and a half and, like, have food sitting out for her that she'll eat. And there's a litter box. She doesn't need to leave the house.
Right.
Yeah.
I think that a cat will happen for a time.
Yeah.
And then, I bet it's LCD.
I think the LCD's tanking.
Oh, no. I mean, it's probably pretty old, isn't it?
It's not that old.
Which will probably upset my daughter because she will leave. Oh, well, there you fucking did it. It's out. Oh! It's like Fonzie in the fucking record player.
Yeah. Hey, Dave, remember when you said, do you guys need any equipment?
Hashtag sponsor.
I know it's past the end of the year, but yeah.
Someone got one of those things rolling around.
I think we got a flaky LCD. Anywho.
Anyway.
No, I see that in your future at some point.
At some point.
I didn't see the cat, but I do see a dog in your future.
It's just
because that's who you are.
I think having it's that space.
Yeah.
It's that space of having something that cuddles and anxiety and stress and love, but in the middle of the road of being able to depart for a day, a couple days without feeling like there's like a
impending doom.
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And then at some point, we'll get another boxer.
Yeah.
I fill that gap. In the meantime, I found a couple people or a couple channels on Instagram, like boxer dogs, that I follow, and it fills me up with all of the feels and the happies. And the amount of consistency in boxer dog behavior that I actually, while I wasn't really intaking that type of media and entertainment, but it is uncanny the amount of behavior stuff that was synonymous between Genesis, Shiny, and Jax of boxer stuff.
And then you see it in the outside world.
And then I see it on other people's strangers' dogs.
Yeah.
And it's like, yep.
Oh.
It gives me the feels. It puts a smile on my face, and it just only gives me good remembrances of like, yep, I am a boxer dog dad.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Cool.
What do you got? You got anything?
Did you know that Sunday we went and saw Helmet play?
You did mention.
Did I?
That you might be taking your boy. You did.
Yeah, we went on Sunday night. Right here in Roseville.
Yeah. Where?
On Vernon at Goldfield.
Oh, I don't know. Is that the old
right
Sammy's?
Yes. Yeah, that was then Ninja Sushi.
Yes, which was formerly, or Ninja Sushi, formerly Sammy's.
Yes. And then right next to Monk's Cellar.
Duck fries.
Yeah, good. Man, I've seen them probably 6 times now. And
I loved Mother.
Mother?
I'm just trying to make you angry because I know that's Danzig.
Yeah, I was like, Mother,
Yeah.
I think Danzig was playing at Thunder Valley.
That's purely coincidence. I didn't actually know that.
Oh, okay.
Like recently? Or
yeah, recently. Either it's coming up or it just recently happened.
Yeah.
I saw billboards for it or whatever.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't really get out, so I don't see billboards.
I know.
There's not a lot of billboards between here and Rayleigh's, so.
For sure. But yeah, good show, man. Those guys are incredible. every time. So this particular show was their 30th. God damn, I'm getting old. 30th anniversary show tour. 30th anniversary tour for their Betty album. And so what they do is they come out. They don't even say anything. They just start playing the Betty album from track 1 to the last track. All the way through without saying a word.
Wow.
They play the entire album front to back. And then they're like, yeah, that was the Betty album. We're going to play some more. And then they play another set.
Oh, wow.
And then they do the thing where what do you call that?
The encore.
Yeah, they do that and played a couple more songs.
So how long is
awesome.
the... okay, so 30 years. So give me the year the Betty album came out.
Whatever 30 years ago was.
15, 05, 95.
Yeah. Which wasn't their first record. They had a couple before that.
15. It's 2025, right? Yes. Okay,
Yeah.
so...
So 95?
15, 05, 95.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. God damn.
I know. And then they were saying like one of their other albums, I can't remember which one, is coming up to its 30-year anniversary.
So how long roughly, if you can recall, I mean, you're a fan.
Yeah.
How long in minutes is the Betty album?
Oh, I didn't even check my watch or see what time they came on and what time they finished that or anything. I mean, it's got to be easily 40 minutes worth.
I was going to say, it's hard for me to judge because now at this point, I do think that a lot of people probably don't intake their music in full album structure unless you're a Taylor Swift fan.
Well, because back then you would buy a CD,
right?
And you would play it,
right?
You know?
So I do wonder, like with the advent of people, multiple artists releasing like EPs, which are like truncated 1, 2, 3 track, like stripped down things. I
41 minutes and 43 seconds.
I do wonder, like, how many, to what end are a lot of current albums? Like, what's their duration?
I feel like,
I don't know.
It seems like we're more of a single.
That's what I'm saying.
Singles nowadays.
My kids, outside of
I like that song.
Right.
They don't even know
I
it
just
comes
add it to my playlist.
Yeah, or they just get released as singles. Like, they don't even have an album.
Yeah.
Like, to me, music is it's an album's worth of material released by an artist. That's what it is to me. For me personally, I love like an LP, like actual vinyl.
Yeah.
Playing it and pulling out the fucking release notes and the lyrics out of the inside of the record and following along and like learning. And some bands do way more stuff on their inserts than they do, or even on the outside.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the things I really always enjoyed about 7 Seconds, for instance, is they had extensive liner notes in their records that were always handwritten. It was like Kevin Seconds sat down and wrote that shit. You know what I mean?
Right.
And it was all the lyrics and sometimes little things here and there. I just loved all that stuff. And you felt like you got to know them, first of all, through the music, which is the big thing, but the little tidbits that you get in those liner notes that you don't have that stuff anymore.
I can't remember what flashed it to, like, as a remembrance. It was it was someone making it might have been like a podcast thing, and they made a quick reference to like CD stores, like going to a CD store to buy your music. And I do wonder, and it immediately flashed, I can't remember where I was in the early 2000s. And it may have been one of the jaunts to San Francisco proper, and it was the Virgin Megastore.
Oh, yeah.
Like going and seeing the absolute a massive amount of just CDs.
Yeah.
And then going and looking and just looking through CDs. And I don't think, at that time, I don't think I walked out of there with anything. But it was because in that moment, in that space and time, it was to be in a music store of that size. It's like, it's like if you, at that time as a young person, like going to San Francisco and making sure you go to the Ghirardelli Square and like participating in the thing.
Oh yeah.
If you go to New York, Times Square.
Yeah.
It was like it's cool to do, and I'm a young person. It was if you're in that kind of metropolis, the Virgin Megastore has it's 2-3 stories tall, dude.
Yeah.
Go in there and look for some music. And it's like you could find anything, even the UK stuff.
For us, it was going to Tower Records.
Yes,
so
that one
there
too.
was the
that
Tower,
one too.
the Tower Records near Sunrise Mall in Citrus Heights.
Yeah.
And that place was open every single day, 365 days a year. So Christmas Day at home, when we shredded through Christmas gifts and everyone was done and you had free time, we would leave and go to Tower and shop for music because...
Was it Tower or Dimple that allowed you that had like the headphones that would allow you to listen to some albums like at your leisure? Or was that Virgin?
That might have been Virgin.
As someone that in the late, before I left for Charlotte, I spent, I can't remember where that was, and that's unfair to whoever that vendor was. I couldn't afford
Warehouse Records.
It may have been.
Yeah.
I couldn't afford a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
So I would go and listen to can I get this Green Day out? Can I get Dookie?
Yeah.
I would listen to all of Dookie, and then and then be like, okay, cool. And then
now I
walk out.
really want it or whatever.
Someone was telling. Going to what was it wasn't good. Was it Good Guys? It was the technology store that was off of Sunrise Mall, and they had like the car audio stuff. Was it Good Guys?
It was right at the corner of Good Guys was at the corner of Greenback and Sunrise.
It may have been, and
there's also a Circuit City in that area.
No, it wasn't Circuit City. It was like a all electronic media where they sold like home stereos, car stereos, speakers.
Yeah, the Good Guys was actually, so it moved.
And they've gone out of business, obviously.
Yeah, Good Guys was down Sunrise just past the mall on the left.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Laser discs.
Yeah.
And that was just when, like a Terminator 2 and the Phantom Menace at some point. I can't afford a Laserdisc player.
Right, they were pricey.
But they had that small... Come on in here. The demo room where they would put fucking Phantom Menace on Laserdisc, and it was like, shit, I'm gonna sit here and watch fucking Star Wars
at 480p.
Yeah, shit, Laserdisc. Oh. The amount, my kids won't know that.
No,
right?
Music is not what it was.
Sure.
I spent shitloads of time. There was one day, I remember one day in particular that I hit every single tower in Sacramento, and there were like 3 or 4 towers in Sacramento. And in fact, we used to buy all of our concert tickets at the tower at Sunrise Mall or at Birdcage there.
Okay.
Because they had Tower Records, and then next door was Tower Books, and the Tower Books had the ticket booth, and you would wait outside at the ticket booth and buy your tickets for the shows. There was no buying anything. You had to go buy them at the fucking box office.
Right.
And I bought NXS tickets and all kinds of shit there, right?
Yeah.
And like Susie and the Banshees or whatever it was. That's where you bought your fucking tickets.
Did you ever make a mixtape and give it to Shan? Or a CD?
Probably. I know I had to have at
Maybe.
some point. I'm pretty sure.
I thought
don't
about
remember
the other
specifically,
day
but
I can't remember what triggered it, but it may have been the same thing about the guy. It was making
play and record.
Yes.
Yeah.
On like tracking
tapes.
to one.
Yeah.
Like my kids won't know. It could be, it's translated into probably a playlist.
Yeah.
But the pirating of music from a cassette or a CD to another, the mechanical
ripping discs.
Yeah, of nature
to MP3s or whatever.
Right. Yeah. But the mechanical of a tape deck, it's got 2 tape decks. So you can put a blank cassette in one, and then you do the. I'm like, man, Mike.
So even prior to that, I remember sitting in my room, junior high time. So early, mid 80s, and listening to the radio and being like, do I know this? Yes. And then hitting record to record the song off the radio so that later on you could play it back.
Right. And then being pissed at
that they talked over
DJ was like, coming up next, the NXS.
Right.
Jamming KSFF 102.5. And it's already doing the drum intro. And you're like, get the fuck off, dude.
Stop talking through the song.
Shut up. And then your mixtape has from live KSFF 102.5.
Yeah, it was K-pop back in the day.
Fuck you.
KPOP.
God damn.
So, yeah, I used to love buying music. Man, it was so much fun.
Yeah.
I
still
have
my CDs got stolen, and then I was like, fuck you guys.
I still have all my CDs. I still have all my vinyl. In fact, at the Helmet Show, I bought the Betty double disc set and had Paige Hamilton.
I was going to say, did you get it signed?
Sign it.
Well, now you just got to glass and trophy that shit and put it up on the wall.
It's on light blue vinyl, which is the coolest shit.
On light.
The vinyl itself is like
on
a
vinyl.
Light blue. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't ever play that. Now it's a trophy, baby.
So anyway, I love that. I miss those. It was it's a physical thing. Like you could go buy. Here's the music, and then you had to take it home and put it on something and play it.
Yeah.
Now I used to record all of my. So this is before CDs even. Record all my shit on the tapes.
Mm-hmm.
So. Drop the needle on the record and hit record, and then record the half, and then stop it, flip the thing, drop the needle, hit record. Then you had the whole album on tape.
Yeah.
I had shitloads of really high quality tapes that were all labeled, and I knew exactly what was on all of them, and I did a ton of that. I still probably have some of those around.
That's why it was nice. But obviously, Piper and Venus have gone to 2 Taylor Swift concerts, and Piper has attended. I mean, Piper has attended a small subset of her own, but we also attend like the Wood Creek concerts.
Yeah.
The first concert, it's important. I think attending live music helps give you not only, patronage to the artist that gives you happiness or puts a smile on your face is important. Like you show them love with your dollar. If you enjoy their music, please attend a live show if possible, in however that's given to you. Attend a live show if possible.
Yeah.
Zander and I went to the Imagine Dragons concert that was at fucking rolled the dice on whatever the name is now, the Toyota Amphitheater, I think.
It used to be Sleep Train or whatever.
Right, yeah. Sleep Train, and then who knows what the fuck it was before that.
Yeah.
Balzania. Honda-thon.
Toyota days.
It was he had a great time, but go to a live show.
Yeah.
Enjoy a live show. He has an artist, a Japanese artist named Ado that is his favorite artist. He enjoyed Imagine Dragons. Everyone in the house enjoys Imagine Dragons, but only he and I were the ones that went to that. But his favorite artist is a Japanese female singer, Ado, and we got him for Christmas birthday /
Yeah.
He was like, she's doing a tour in the U.S. because usually it's like a Japanese, Japan
Yeah.
thing. She's doing a tour. She's hitting the globe, and she's stopping in a couple places, domestic U.S. She will be stopping in San Jose.
See that right here.
And I got him. We got taken. We knew he knew it was coming. But this will be, I think, the first artist that he's like,
I want to go.
This is my jam.
Yeah.
Like, seriously, this is my jam. I want to go. So
the
I'm
Habana World Tour.
I'm excited for him. Yes, put on by, I think, Crunchyroll. Anime is the one that's like sponsoring it, or is like a major sponsor. So it's like all in our wheelhouse as far as like
Nice.
all the stuff. So I'm excited that that's an interest to him. While it's not the same type of like, I own the CDs and I own the LPs. He and Piper with Taylor Swift and Hozier, a number of like folk music stuff that she enjoys. The participation in the live shows, whether it's Helmet or Imagine Dragons or fucking Ado or Hozier, music is fucking amazing.
I was fortunate enough to get put on a list by a coworker.
Oh. Hashtag Goanna?
Yes. You know this story.
Yes. Oh.
I think.
Oh, yeah.
I think you know the story. But for the audience that may not know this, so a coworker of mine does the audio for, it's a venue in Nevada City, Miners Foundry. So he runs the audio. So when artists come, he's the one that sets up all the live audio. And one day at work, he says to me, "Hey man, there's a show coming to the Miners Foundry.
Right.
And I can't tell you who it's going to be. I'm like under NDA.
Oh, wow.
But I put you on the list with a +1. I know you would want to go to this show, and you're going to want to go to this show.
I can't tell you, but you should be here."
Yeah, I cannot tell you who it is. You can maybe figure it out. I don't know. But you're on the list with +1.
Yeah.
And it's free, and you should be at that show, kind of a thing.
Right.
And I was like, fuck, okay. All right. And I didn't know who it was going to be. I think we ended up figuring it out somewhere down the route. I didn't mention it to Greg, or he never told me that's who it was.
Right.
But I ended up having to miss my daughter dancing at... So she was dancing at...
Hashtag we still love you, Melly.
The state fair, which I've seen her dance a jillion times.
Yeah.
So it's like, if I miss one, it's probably not that big of a deal, especially if it's for a situation like this.
Sure.
And so I said, I'll take Chandler with me.
Okay.
And so we went to the show. Melly and Shanna went to the state fair. And it ended up being the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Oof.
And that was Chandler's first live show.
Oh.
Was seeing the Red Hot Chili Peppers in a venue that holds about 800 people. And that was like the old days, right? Except it was it was like their, one of their practice shows they were doing practice shows for their I'm With You tour.
Oh, okay.
Except it was like a modern day version of the Red Hot Chili Peppers, but in this like 800 person venue.
Wow.
And that was super special because we got right up at the stage. We got there hella early. And we were fairly certain we knew who it was. Because I knew Greg he like grew up in LA, and he was in the music scene heavily, and he was in bands and stuff. So I knew that he knew.
He's like Bed Thought Billy Deppers.
He's friends with Flea. Like, he has pictures of Flea holding one of his kids when they were a baby.
Yeah.
You know, so he's friends with them. And so I kind of knew that he was connected in that way.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of assumed that that's who it was. But what an impact that had. Chandler fucking loves live music now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so it's really cool to have been able to kickstart that for him.
Sure. With a good experience, like right out of the gate.
Yeah, with an experience like that. Like, that's a really rare thing today to have an experience like that with a band as big as they are. You know, if it was like...
Unless he was like, Dad, I don't really like guitars.
Well, I know that...
I'm kind of more like an electronica guy.
Right. Well, he did...
Moby's more my speed, Dad.
He did definitely sort of lean... Like, I want to say junior high time frame for him.
Yeah.
He sort of leaned into the hip-hop genre more. He's kind of swung back, and he listens to a lot of stuff that... I don't even want to fucking like Slayer and things like that.
I was going to say, I know his walk down song to his wedding was not fucking...
Yeah. So he has really sort of kind of went that direction and come back. And I think he's decided for the most part, there is stuff he still listens to, but for the most part, that's not really like his genre of music. And like, I don't want to take credit for that. That's like, he made up his mind. Like, I just showed him some stuff.
He certainly has to like the music.
Yeah.
So, sure.
Yeah.
Right.
And then at some point after that, there was a free show downtown at one of the parks. And 7 Seconds headlined a show. And I was like, you want to go? He's like, yeah. So I took him downtown to this park, and we watched 7 Seconds kill it at a show there, and he just fucking loved it. I don't know. He doesn't listen to 7 Seconds. Like, it's not part of his rotation, but he still enjoyed the fact that it was a show at the park with the punk, you know.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I fucking love 7 Seconds. So it's like, you can go if you don't want to go. You don't have to.
Just stand over in the corner while I slow jerk it, son, because this is amazing.
But for me personally, like, going to live music stuff was a big part of my growing up. Like high school, like I remember we went to tons of punk shows. And then after high school, there's a club in Sacramento that used to be called the Cattle Club. And I saw Alice in Chains there. I saw Live there. My brother's band.
Throwing copper, baby.
Yeah. I mean, I saw lots of cool bands that are huge at the Cattle Club that held like 400 people.
See, that's funny.
Like, I love that shit.
For me, it was the having to purchase the music because at living in Grass Valley, like the ability to get this far down, on a budget and gas was like unobtainium. Yeah. So I didn't attend a lot.
Yeah.
If any, like, count on one hand the concerts that I was able to attend.
Yeah.
I think my first one may have been something at Cal Expo, and it was like a Spin Doctors Soul Asylum one.
Okay, that's cool. I like Soul Asylum.
And then it was, of which I went with my current wife, but she was not with me at the time.
What about your old wife?
Yeah, the first wife.
You went with your first wife?
And then I think I saw... I mean, honestly, it's few and far between. I think I saw...
God damn, why do I feel like I need to take you to some shows?
God, my music is like... And plus...
See, that's the thing, right? Your music might be whatever it is. But sometimes you just go to a show and you're like, fuck... I'm not into those guys, but they just fucking killed it. And that was awesome. You know, like...
Who did I've seen a couple people at the Boardwalk.
Okay. I saw somebody at the Boardwalk.
Shit. I may have seen Alice in Chains. No. Shit. God damn it. Most unfortunate. I cannot remember the band.
I saw Fishbone play there.
I've seen... Cake.
Okay.
Cal Expo.
All right.
I have seen, and I think Real Big Fish was there as well. And somebody at at least 2 people at the boardwalk that unfortunately I cannot recall.
I've seen so many shows. There's like shit I've forgotten. I remember talking to my friend Scott, who passed away a couple of years ago. At one point in the past, I was talking to him, and he said something about, I just went and saw Verbal Assault, and I'm like, fuck, I want to see Verbal Assault. He goes, you did see Verbal Assault, and I was like, oh yeah. There's shows like I've been to that I've forgotten. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like I've seen Fugazi play a couple times. I saw the Beastie Boys play twice. I've seen In Excess, Depeche Mode, Erasure. I said it before. Susie and the Banshees.
Where the fuck did you see Erasure?
At Cal Expo Amphitheater.
I would go to that concert.
They were fucking awesome. They opened for Depeche Mode, actually.
Dave Matthews Band.
I saw them.
I
was at the show at Cal Expo.
That was a good show. I saw Dave Matthews Band with Vina.
I was at that show.
That was fucking good.
I've seen, like I said, tons of bands at the Cattle Club. I saw just recently, a couple of years ago, I saw that band I was just talking about, Verbal Assault. They played at a little tiny place down in South Sac. I took my wife, and we went and watched Verbal Assault. Like, they're old fucking guys now, right? Playing the old punk rock. And I just love that shit. It like takes me back to like those times. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've seen 7 Seconds play more times than I can count. Kevin Seconds. Here's a fascinating one. Kevin Seconds started a band early 90s called Burn Baby Burn. And you've probably heard this before. And they needed a bassist. So they're local. They're here in Sacramento. 7 Seconds is local because Kevin lives here. He lives in Sacramento. And so Burn Baby Burn needed a bassist. And my brother was a guitar player. And so my brother found out they needed a bassist. And he was like, oh shit, they need a bassist? I want to play with Kevin from 7 Seconds in this band. So he fucking sells his guitar shit and buys a bass and a bass amp and learns all the songs and tries out, and they bring him on.
Wow.
So then they end up having practices at my parents' house in Fair Oaks while my parents are out of town.
As one does.
The guys all show up and they set up in the living room and fucking Kevin Seconds was in my living room.
And you're like just looking around the hallway.
And I'm just like
slow jerking.
What the fuck?
Kevin Seconds, look at my tip.
I mean, because this was a guy, like I listened to 7 Seconds for years, and it was one of those bands for me that was like heavily influential on me as a person. Loved the music. Never thought I'd ever meet him, but I've seen him a bunch, Yeah. Here he is in my fucking living room, and also Stefan from the Deftones, the guitarist, was in the same band. So Stefan from the Deftones and Kevin Seconds in the same band in my living room practicing.
Does your brother play at all anymore?
Yeah, he's in a band called, it's like a country.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
What is their name?
I have a lot of tolerance, Jim. Country.
Dude, it's not my bag either.
Presses my limit.
He was in a band called 99 Tales, which was sort of like an alternative country. So it was sort of like shades of like grunge music, but country-ish.
Yeah.
And I can't remember his current band's name, but it's not my bag. So he definitely shifted away. I'm not even sure if he still listens to any of the old stuff we listen to.
Do you slap the bass anymore? I need you.
Well, he's a guitarist, so he plays.
Oh, so he went back.
Yeah, he plays guitar now still. But he just did the bass thing so he could play in that band.
Wow.
Yeah. What was fun about that was I got to go like roadie for him. So I would they'd do a show in San Francisco. I'd be like, yeah, I'm coming. And we would drive to, like, they did a show at Haight Ashbury called a place called the I-Beam, for instance. And we showed up. I helped unload all the gear and help them get it set up on stage so they could do sound check and all that shit. And that was the funnest. That was so fun to do that stuff.
Yeah.
But music for me has always been a big part of my life So when I see someone like Helmet, which was huge for me, like in the 90s,
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, yeah, I know I just saw them last year, but fuck, I'm going again.
Sure.
I'm going again because they are awesome.
You're a grown ass man working a full-time job, and
Yeah.
you're gonna make it happen, baby.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
And my wife was funny because she knows what Helmet sounds like. They're gruff sounding.
Yeah. They rip.
And I'm like, do you would be interested. You know what they sound like.
Mm-hmm.
You want to know what their singer looks like? I said, you would not believe it. And she's like, okay. I showed him a picture of Paige Hamilton, and he's like this clean-cut white guy with short hair. And she's like, that's the singer of Helmet? I go, yeah. Does it fit the sounds coming out of his face? And she's like, no.
Right.
I'm like, yeah, that's,
That's what decades of cocaine will do to you.
But the other thing I love is that 2 times now, they played the same place in the last year.
Right.
And he has, he even mentioned it both times, a bunch of his family there because his cousins live here in the area.
Oh.
So they had like 20 plus family tickets or whatever for them, guest list folks.
Wow.
And so it's like, I love the fact knowing that Paige Hamilton, who in my opinion is one of the greats, has family that's here in Sacramento area. And they're coming to the show in Roseville to watch them play with their kids.
I'm just going to start buying random people drink and hope I say that I bought a Paige Hamilton's cousin's family's uncle's beer.
And what's cool about them is, I mean, they play big shows and stuff, but these are little tiny places they're playing. And when they're done, they played like an hour and 20 minutes or something.
Wow.
Right? And when they're done, they hang around on the stage and they shake people's hands and talk to people. It's like they're just folks.
Is this a nationwide tour, like anniversary thing, or is it just a state thing?
No, it's nationwide. And then he was saying they're finishing up here in the U.S. and they're going to South America after.
Oh, wow.
So they're touring this thing all over the world.
Wow.
It's like, fuck, that's cool.
Good for you guys.
Yeah.
I mean, it sure beats corporate.
And man, even if you're not interested in the style of music, to go and see a show of the kind of music they play and how tight they are, how good they sound, is just impressive. It's like listening to their album, but right in front of you and loud. It's that good.
So how, I guess, relative to the facilities, how's the audio in a facility like that that's not a studio or a concert venue?
It's great. I wear earplugs because I have a daughter that's going to be an audiologist.
Dad.
Yeah. So I have earplugs in, but that actually does help because I think going and seeing, I've seen a lot of shows where the next day I'm like, got the ring.
Yeah.
You don't have, when you wear earplugs, you don't have that the next day. You don't feel like your ears just got fucking hammered. And then when I have the raw audio coming in, it's distorted enough that sometimes I'm like, what song is this?
Oh.
But when I have the earplugs in, I get enough sound through them that it like cleans it up, and it's more manageable of a listening situation.
Yeah.
And so it does make a difference for me personally. But
I think anyone at our age probably should be doing that.
And they are fucking louder than shit.
Right.
Now, honorable mention, the band. So they're playing with 3 bands on their tour. There is the second band. The middle band is a band called Slow Mosa.
Okay.
And they're from the Netherlands.
Oh.
And they just killed it. I'm like, oh shit, these guys are good. Bought 2 of their records standing at the show.
Nice.
I'm like, yeah, I'm not missing that. And I love that too. I've had a couple of occasions.
Diamond in the rough kind of thing?
Yeah, I saw a Face to Face play in Walnut Creek one time at a little bar. Face to Face is a fairly big band, but they play small shows when they're on their own. And so it's this little bar in Walnut Creek, and not their opener, but the middle band was a band called the Downtown Struts. And I've never heard of them, but they fucking killed it. And I was like, holy shit. And I bought their CD right away. Like, yeah, I'm merch table. Here's the CD. And they're like, you have to tell them what the tip is. I'm like, $10. Like, I don't care what the CD costs. Like, here's $10.
Yeah.
Go have a sandwich on me or something,
Right.
So I love that. And the Downtown Struts are fucking killer. They're not around anymore, which fucking kills me. But their music is really well put together.
The opener for Imagine Dragons was someone that neither Zander or I knew by name.
Yeah.
But it was someone that shared a title on the Arcane League of Legends streaming show on Netflix.
Okay.
Like their soundtrack. He had a track or two on there. Oh. And both of us were like, it wasn't an album buy thing, but it was like, add this, like look this up in Apple Music and look this up in Spotify and add track to playlist. Right. It was like, I don't know who this is. It was that good. God damn. It's unfortunate I can't remember the name of the artist, but same experience. I was like, fucking goddamn, this was amazing. Yeah. Like, this guy's amazing too.
I love that when you go to a show and you don't have any idea who the other bands are, you're there for somebody else. And then you're like, whoa, who are these guys?
Yeah, this is fucking dope.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. And that doesn't happen for me because I'm super picky about music. That doesn't happen for me very often. But on a couple of occasions, I'm like, oh shit, I like these guys. What the hell?
Yeah. That's why I'm going almost totally blind, actually full blind outside of the artist in June, Ado. Like, I have no idea openers. She's a native Japanese artist.
I see that.
So I have no idea what's coming.
This just says Ado in the lineup.
Yeah, it's going to be a new experience 100% for me.
It says prepare to have your anus probed.
Well, I'll go with chaps, and we'll just see what happens. I apologize to my son, who's a minor at the time.
That's a pretty big show, actually.
So I look forward to it.
At the SAP Center.
I think the last time she had a show, it may have been pre-COVID.
Those aren't cheap tickets either.
What do they say they are now?
155, 130.
I think we
140.
We got in.
Those are lowest price tickets.
That was about
129.
I think that was about 130.
Okay,
is what we paid.
All right,
or what I paid. He didn't pay for
Section 216, row 11. I can buy right now.
She had been here before. I think her closest show was Los Angeles.
Oh, and that's far.
That's maybe 2 to 3 years ago. I think it was after COVID, and he didn't say anything until it was like well after.
Oh,
he was
I
like,
missed
man, it would have been cool to like go and see. And it's like, fucking, it's Los Angeles, son, and also it was like 3 weeks ago.
Yeah,
but, if you would have said something,
depending on the show, I would drive to LA to see, especially if it's at the bowl, the Hollywood Bowl. Oh, fuck.
Oh, yeah.
I would go to LA to see. In fact, I have driven to LA to see Big Drill Car play a couple times.
Oh, yeah.
But I would drive to LA to see a show at the Hollywood Bowl.
Yeah.
For sure.
Good venue. Good.
I've never seen a show there, so I've always wanted to go.
Oh. And it's like a bucket list thing.
Yeah. And if it's a band I want to see, fuck yeah.
Fuck yeah. Huh.
Truckin' A.
Absolutely.
I mean, we did right before Chandler's wedding. We went and saw.
Yes. The whole family went.
Yeah. So we drove to San Francisco.
Yes.
Two Door Cinema Club.
Yes.
I love those guys. Anyway, so yeah, I fucking love music. Love music.
Yeah.
And I really hate American politics right now. Let's take it down a notch.
Yeah. We're at time.
Yeah.
We're at time. How's your price of gas?
How's them egg prices?
How's that milk?
I was surprised. We were at Safeway last night. And there's some stuff, like everything's more expensive now, right?
Yeah.
But the bonkers thing to me is when I see a bag of Doritos that's $6.30 for a bag of Doritos, and it's stamped on the bag $6.29.
Mm.
And I'm like, who is paying $6.29 for a bag of Doritos?
That's like halfway full at best.
Yeah. Now I will say they were on sale. You could buy up to 4 bags with the Safeway card, and if you scanned the coupon,
Yeah.
you could buy them for $1.99 right now.
The Doritos?
Yeah.
Oh, well.
All flavors of Doritos.
I mean, that's pretty good.
So I did. I bought 4 fucking bags at $1.09. I'm $6.29 for a bag of Doritos. Like I
don't know.
I just will go without.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's bonkers to me.
Mm.
I saw a guy it was a TikTok, a guy was breaking down. Here's a bag of fucking potato chips. And he goes, this bag is like, I don't know, 10 ounces or 8 ounces or whatever it says of chips.
Yeah.
And he goes, the chips cost like 5 something for the bag or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, that's less than 1 potato.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he was like, seriously.
The amount of chips in here accumulates to less than a potato sliced.
Yeah. But, it's like everything's so expensive. Gas is, I mean, part of the gas prices for us, if number one, it's California and the taxes.
Sure.
That's a big one. But also, because our fuel, I was reading about this.
Mm-hmm.
I know we're at time.
Yeah.
But our fuel mix is weighted heavily for exhaust pollutants, right? So the mix that we have is an expensive mix, and it's only used here in California. So our refineries are specifically putting out gas with this mix in it.
Okay.
That makes it more expensive.
Okay.
So you have that happening. And then there's a switchover that happens from winter to summer at the refinery level. That is a retooling of the refinery specifically to make this special mix of gas for summer gas.
Okay.
So what that ends up doing is bringing down parts of the refinery to lessen production, which increases prices.
Sure.
And the other part of this was that apparently nearby Martinez, there was a refinery fire, which also kills production and causes gas prices to go up.
Right.
And in addition to that, like I said, there's only a few places in California that are actually refining crude for California's blend of fuel, which is already more expensive, like I said.
Right.
So we have the catch-22 here of taxes, fuel blend, inability for them to ramp up production when they need to because of things that are happening.
Right.
Yeah. So that's part of our gas prices, but hey, guess what? They were pretty low right up until Trump came into office.
Weird.
So, not to mention all the other fucking bullshit going on.
Right.
It's a shit show. Namaste.
Namaste, motherfucker.
I feel like we're just headed towards a non-America.
It's
a Trump-erica.
It's brutal of late.
Yeah. Every day is a new fucking thing. That's the whole thing. It's like, maybe we could get some breathing room, and then every day you get hit with some new shit. You're like, really? Well, I mean, I guess you're owning the liberals then. I mean, you're doing the thing.
You guys did it. Good fucking wow.
Imagine being so angry that people would want to live their lives and love who they want to live, want to love who they want to love, that you are willing to lie like a motherfucker to get elected and just fuck with people just because you can.
Yeah. Some of this just seems like petty, childish bullshit.
Yeah.
But
tantruming.
But because you're the guy, You get to do it.
Also, what I don't understand is what good is the Congress if the president can just executive order everything he wants to do?
I think we're going to find ourselves in a serious quagmire with that sort of implement. I hope that as a country, we come to grips with that loophole, Democrat or Republican, needs to be closed. Like, there are some instances, I am sure, where there is an immediate need for that type of fire handle pull, that you need to put something in place via president. I get it.
For executive order? Yeah.
Right. But the convenience and utility at which it's being leveraged by both sides is not what the people, I think, are expecting from a system of government that's intended to have checks and balances.
Well, I don't even know that. I mean, yeah, the people would expect there to be the thing that they have been,
sure,
taught about the checks and balances of our government.
If the people, by and large, by majority, want some of the things that are being put in place to be put in place, it would come up through the House of Republicans, then the Senate, and approved by the president. It should not be the thing that maybe perhaps a fraction of people that elected a president want in place circumvent the will of the people in two branches of government, or one branch of government, to be just unilaterally put in place by one branch. Like, that's not how it's supposed to work.
No.
And unless there's an emergency situation, that's not how it's supposed to work. It's supposed to come up through the will of the people at the
congressional,
right? Yeah. That's and then approve.
Remember the thing? I'm just a bill,
right,
on Capitol Hill,
right.
That doesn't seem to fucking matter now.
It doesn't.
It's crazy.
It's frustrating.
That's fascist bullshit right there.
That's frustrating, and that's a warm and fuzzy way to put it, as frustrating.
Sorry, I have to talk about it because I get super frustrated.
It's super important that it's not just swept under the rug.
Yeah.
Regardless of where you stood on voting, if you're not staying aware and just having a common sense visibility of what's happening and how the mechanics of how it's happening, you're missing a good chunk of the picture.
Yeah.
Some of these things are being perhaps told to you or published to you in a method that makes it look like that's happening. And then they're getting on the DL, they're getting hamstrung or pulled or tied up in legalese by a branch of government. But to you, you're seeing, oh, this happened, so it must have happened, but it may not be. And whether or not that's jarring to you because you didn't vote for the guy, or it's making you happy, but it didn't really happen, but you're getting the soundbite that it did.
I'll give you an example on that.
A lot of those things are disingenuous.
Yeah. There was the talking point during the election of no tax on tips and also no tax on Social Security benefits. Those are great topics,
sure,
I think, to a certain extent. I mean, I don't know what the fiscal impact of that is on the federal government, but that's kind of a cool thing. I remember when there wasn't tax on tips. It's a relatively new thing. And then I see the budget, right? Well, neither one of those things that were talked about as this is what's happening were in the budget.
Oh.
And then the Republicans are like, look what we did. No tax on tips and no tax on Social Security. Well, that's not actually in the fucking budget. Did you read the budget? It's not in there.
Oh, wow.
So we have a lot of that kind of shit going on where things were promised, but the budget doesn't actually have the thing in it.
Oh,
but
so they're using talking points.
You're using it as a win. Oh, yeah, no tax. Well, guess what? It's not actually, that didn't actually happen because it didn't actually make it into the budget. So we have a lot of like this misinformational thing going on that are being counted as wins from the Republican side that aren't actually wins because they didn't actually happen, you know. So I get really frustrated and upset about that kind of stuff when people can't be bothered to like find out. They just go, oh, well, this is a budget passed. Yeah, oh, cool. It just happened.
Yeah, on faith. Yep, it's good. No, I heard it once and I'm good. I don't
happen.
Need to delve any further. It's truth, gospel, game over.
Right.
Did it?
Yeah. So I get really, man, I get fired up. I get mad. Man, I get mad.
Got that one TikTok you sent me with the guy talking to his dad? Like, that's pretty much, that sums up what we're talking about here.
Yes.
Like someone that's taking in talking points at face value with zero credibility, just this is it.
I feel like we have to say what the TikTok is. So it's a guy having a conversation with his dad about
the war,
about
Zelensky.
Ukraine. Yeah. And the dad was basically saying that Ukraine started the war and how Ukraine was bombing Moscow and all this kind of stuff. And he was like, okay.
Yeah. He had a whole bunch of talking points that made no logical sense.
Yeah.
But the dad was adamant in the belief that they were legit, and it was all.
Yeah, he was just.
Yeah,
I don't know, getting it from Newsmax or something.
Right.
I don't know where they
super
get this
frustrating because it's like, man, that's not. I don't think that's uncommon. And to take any single news thing on faith right at its just one source.
Yeah.
In 2025, you're missing. You have to be missing some of the context.
Oh man, don't even get me started on that fucking Zelensky shit too. Oh, did you watch any of that?
I did,
dude. I wanted to punch my screen. I was so mad.
Yes,
that was the fucking worst thing I've ever seen in the fucking Oval Office.
I will tell you that. Fuck.
I know.
My house is a house that has flown a Ukrainian country flag.
Yeah.
So that's probably all you need to know about how frustrating that experience was for me to watch.
Yeah.
Extremely frustrating and disheartening.
Yeah.
To see on a public stage. Just don't like it.
Yeah.
Don't like it at all. Yeah, we got to go.
We got to go. Thanks for listening, you guys.
You should return the cart.
You should wash your ass.
Wash your hands.
You should check your oil, Tony.
Stay up to date on your shots.
Make the call if you need to.
Register to vote and participate.
Please participate. Do the kindness.
Pick up a broom, and we'll catch you next week.
Again, we really appreciate you listening. Thanks a lot.
Thanks.